Good evening, everyone. Trust our day went well. Sorry for the time taking. We are 7 minutes behind schedule. I was finding it really difficult to load my sorry. Okay, I was finding it quite difficult to load my material for the day. So I guess we don't have to wait for that while I try to load it. So I believe we can all hear me. Please, if you can hear me, give me a 111 in the chat box to confirm that we can all hear me. Please give me a 111 in the chat box. Let's confirm that we can all hear clearly. Good, good, good. Um, I'm actually outside of my comfort zone, but I just had to, settle down. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tony, Mrs. Shell. I appreciate so much, Mr. Emmanuel, Kunlola. Today we are going to be looking at a very important aspect of this examination, preparing towards this examination, and we are going to be looking at international public sector accounting standard. So international public sector accounting standard, um, how many of us have heard of this before? Let's make it a bit interactive. How many of us have heard of it before? What can you say on international public sector accounting standard? What can you say on it? So I'm waiting for us. I want to hear our opinion. What can you say? What can you say? You can unmute. You can unmute and say something. Or you chat, you type it in the comment box. Are we together? If you want to say something, you can unmute. Sorry, I'm trying to load um my material. I'm having issues. The document is not opening. Probably the Word document of my system is malfunctioning. So sorry. That's why I'm a bit I'm not on the I just minimize that to quickly fix it. Okay. But please I want us to interact while I'm at it. I don't want this time to waste. What can you say on international public sector? Many of us I believe must have heard of um international accounting standard, international financial reporting standard, right? So what can you say with respect to okay, someone said it is a standard developed to regulate the financial management in public sector entities. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you so much, Ma. Who else can try? Who else can try? Okay, let me just I know it's not part, might not be part of the class while I try to rectify the issue with my document. Who has heard of okay, I believe we have all heard of at this level, I believe all of us must have heard of IES, IESs and IPSAS, right? IESs and IPSASs. Is there anyone here that has not heard of that? IESs and IPSASs. Are we together? Right. Okay. So what's the difference between thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's the difference between IPSAS and IES? Sorry, what's the difference? Okay, someone said they are set of accounting documents should be an international public sector accounting standard. Okay, good. I love that. So, for use by, I love the fact that you mentioned the name of the board that actually um regulate or issues it for use by public sector entities around the world in the preparation of financial statements. Very important. I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. I think that being said, I want us to differentiate between when I talk about IFRS and IES? Do you think they are the same? The reason why I'm asking this is because I know that it will help you. You are in the skills level. I just wanted to digress a bit here in the skills level. Of course, we are even talking. We are not even digressing. We are still talking about standards today. So we are still talking about the same thing, right? So I want to ask in this class, what is the difference between IFRS and IES? Are they the same? If they are not the same, what's the difference between IFRS and IES? I'm waiting for us. I want us to use it to learn. Are we together? I want us to actually use this to learn. So you know my method is whenever I talk about something, I ask a question rather, and it is not being answered. I take it as knowing it. That means that the student actually know it. So there's no need to fall back to it, right? So that's what I actually see it as. Please, can we help? What is the difference? I really need to know. If they are not the same, if they are not the same, do you agree that they are the same? No one is saying anything in the chat box. No one is saying anything. Should I move on? Yeah.
No,
You're saying something, sir.
yes, to me they are the same, but is the earlier version of the standard, just to say IS, but version, the earlier version. And the why the IFRS is more update and widely used version.
Hmm. Hmm. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that response, sir. Okay, someone is saying something on the chat box. IAS are being phased out and gradually replaced by IFRS. Oh, so that means that they are not the same, right? I need, I need an explanation. Yeah, I know. Of course, if you say they are being phased out, there are some IFRSs that have not replaced any IAS as it's where now. IAS are still some IASs are still standing. Gidigba. So if you say they are, I find it's quite funny, right? They can decide to play with something like this. They can just decide to play with it. That's why I'm asking this. Because in my class on Tuesday, corporate reporters, people at the professional level, we hear. I don't know if people you follow me on LinkedIn, anyone follow me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I had to make a post on it because I was surprised that at corporate reporting level, you don't understand some of these things. So it really shook me, right? I had to like make a post on it today. In my LinkedIn, that was what I posted today. So anyone, no one, no one, no one. Any other opinion? I'm actually trying to use the opportunity to work on my. Okay, someone said, "Oh yes, it's the, okay. I've read this. Okay, oh yes, it's the earlier version of accounting standard. YFRS is the updated one. Okay, so that means that that means that any IES that is standing now is not updated, right? Please, can you explain further to me, Mr. Abid? Okay, the Mrs. Ogumul, sorry, Mrs. Oluwakemi. Is there any other standard, right? Um,
Hello, sir.
okay, ma.
This is this is Agnes. They are the same. They're both the same standards. However, they're governed by different bodies. Yeah.
Hmm, hmm,
At the same time, the general name for IAS and IFRS, both of them is called IFRS. But we can see that gradually the new IAS is being replaced. Is being
okay,
replaced by IFRS. So that's the
okay.
nutshell I understand.
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm. That was a fantastic contribution. Someone is doing something really interesting on the platform. I don't know. Maybe you went to check it on my LinkedIn page. You have to confess, though. Mrs. Endowment. You went to check it on my post. I will not allow this. You had to check it. Be honest. So this is what I wanted to hear. This is the major difference. This is what is differentiating them. Mrs. Endowment, are you there?
Yeah, yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
What? Good evening, ma.
I
What?
saw it. I read it this morning on your post. Though I have my own, how will I say?
Okay.
I have my own issues trying to differentiate it because I know that they are the same. Some are
Okay.
replaced and others. So I saw it this morning on your LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much. Okay. So the thing is, she has actually spelled it out. Every one of us have spoken well, but nothing would actually explain it better than than what she has just written there. Nothing will explain it better than that, because there are some particular IESs far back of 1950s, 60s, 70s. There was a particular board that used to issue accounting standard. The name of that board is International Accounting Standard Committee. That's the name of the committee. IASC, International Accounting Standard Board, accounting International Accounting Standard Committee. Now, when it was 2000, there was a deliberation that that board needed a more representation around the world, right? The representation was not everyone had actually adopted IESs, using IESs then. Everyone had their own standards. Every country had their own jurisdiction. In fact, till now, some very stubborn countries are still using their own regulatory framework. Who can give me an example of such country that is still using their regulatory framework? Thank you, USA, very stubborn country. And some even countries around themselves are still using their regulatory framework. So um so they decided to do something quite funny. They kept their gap. Yes, US gap. Someone was saying something now. I saw something now. I mean, I think skills level students having this knowledge is quite impressive. I saw something now. Someone was saying something. I'm trying to look for it. Mrs. Karim Belumi. IFRS is more principle based, while IES is rule based. So IES is rule based. I need us to converse. I need us to, in my class, there's no wrong answers. I'd like to welcome answers from here and there. So IESs, are they rule based? Um, let me pick one of the IES. Let me pick IES 2. IES 2, for example, what's it telling us? What's IES 2 telling us? What's the recognition criteria? Disclosures, measurement. I'm trying to understand some of these things. Please, can you make me understand it? Yeah, now talk to me now. I'm riding on your point. I don't want to throw away any points. Okay, let me continue then. So when it was the year 2000, they all sat. Even Nigeria as a country, we adopted IFRS, IAS as the case may be, in the 2010s. That was when we accepted it. We adopted it. Proud to that time, what were we using? Who can help? What were we using proud to that? Anyone? Oh, good, 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 good. Appreciate so much, Mr. I saw a particular chat now. What's happening to my? I saw a very wonderful chat now. SAS, yes, Statement of Accounting Standard. Statement of Accounting Standard. That was what we were making use of then. And you notice something with the Statement of Accounting Standard. Oh, it had a, how would I put it? It had some limitations because not every item on the face of the financial statement, not every, it didn't have that coverage that IFRS is giving or IAS is giving, as the case may be. It didn't have that coverage. So it had its own limitations. Now, sorry, I'm not displaying in this class because I'm really struggling loading my Microsoft Word. I don't know what's happening. So probably just pardon me for today. Probably I will not be able to load to work with a slide. But don't worry, we will not lose the what we should gain. We'll definitely not lose it. We'll gain everything in this class. We'll gain everything together in this class. So we we decided. So the IASB came on board. The International Accounting Standard Committee, they wanted a more representation, right, and a more how would I put it, how would I put, a more transparent and very flexible, body. So they felt they could actually rebrand, or let me say, they could actually reconstitute that particular committee and make it a board. So that was when they decided to include some other countries, and more representations came in, and they made it a board. And they decided to call that board, like, oh, since it's now having more representation, it's no longer a committee, it should be a board now. And they decided to call it International Accounting Standard Board. So 2001, this took effect, and the board came up in 2001. So when the board came up in 2001, all the standards that they met, a lot of standards on ground that the different committee had actually set. They were calling it International Accounting Standards then. So the board felt, oh, what can actually make us differentiate our standards that we are setting or we are issuing now from what the previous board has actually issued? So they felt, okay, let's call our own International Financial Reporting Standard. And that is why we have International Financial Reporting Standard today, and we have International Accounting Standard. So when you see a standard that is still carrying, that is still saying International Accounting Standard, that means it's telling you that it is the different committee that actually sets that standard. Now, a lot of standards have actually been replaced. A lot of standards have been replaced by the IASB. So we no longer have some particular standards. For example, who can give me an example of standards that have been replaced? Standards that have been replaced. At least both standards have been replaced and new issue standards. The IASB have issued about 20, if I'm not mistaken, over 20. So I believe we have done our assignment on it. Let's start with IFRS 1, business combination. Thank you, IAS 17. What was in IAS 17 before? Mr. Emmanuel, you should not mention only that IAS 38 to IFRS 9. Who told you that? Hey, please, oh, our people. Hey, what is in IAS 38? Please don't cram names. You understand the provision of the standard. By I've never in my life said I want to cram names. Is from thank you. Someone has helped you. It is IAS 39. IAS 38 has not been replaced. IAS 38 is intangible assets, and it has not been replaced. It has not been replaced. I don't know if it's going. There's no any deliberation currently in place to be replaced. As IAS 36, someone is talking about IAS 36, impairment of assets. I don't think impairment of asset has been replaced either. But if you want to pick it from IFRS 1, you pick IFRS 1, right? Business combination. You pick IFRS 3, consolidated financial statement, right? You'll be moving it IFRS 5. What is in IFRS 5 now? Help me. I'm not cramming this. This is because of I've worked with them. I don't know. I don't cram the name. I'm more interested in the provisions of the standard and the name of the standard, the number of the standard. So by inception, so oh, good. I love that. Mr. Karim is blazing out. So I IFRS 5 is non-current asset held for sales and discontinued operation. IFRS 6, there's IFRS 6 too, exploration for and valuation of mineral resources. There's IFRS 8 also. There's IFRS 8 operating segment, IFRS 9 disclosures, financial instruments. You can go on and on and on and on and on like that. And trust me, you pick a whole lot of standard that the IASB has come up with. You pick a lot of standards that IASB has done a lot of work, right? So what actually made me start explaining some of these things is many times we just have shallow knowledge of some of these things, and we don't even know the basics of what we're actually doing. It's quite okay. Earlier this year, I went for an interview in a big oil and gas firm, and the interviewer was blown apart because the interviewer was asking me that, okay, what do I understand by IFRS now? And the kind of person that I am, when I'm trying to dissect something, I don't take it from the hardest place. I take it from the basics, because many times we throw away the basics, like the basics of whatever we are doing. Then we try to focus on the hard things. Meanwhile, those hard things we actually built on understanding of the basics, right? So I was explaining to them, okay, how did IFRS, how did the regulatory framework come up and everything. I took them through the memory lane and everything. And the interviewer was just looking at me that, oh, wow. So it's just all about understanding the basics, right? The basics of this thing. So that's why I had to take us back. Now, why are we having to take us through IPSAS? You cannot escape IPSAS in the examination or International Public Sector Accounting Standard. Look at me now, for example. I consult for SMEs, and I also have a 9 to 5 work. I work with Lagos State Government as an accountant, finance and account officer. Now I have to, on every day of my life, I have to make use of either IPSAS or IES or IFRS in doing everything I'm doing. So it's really quite challenging. And at the same time, quite interesting that I have to have a thorough understanding. And over the years, I've been able to build that understanding of both the public sector standards and it's quite funny that I actually deal with the SMEs. And at times, I used to tell students that, see, when you get to practice some of the standard that you think you will unknow it and learn it the hard way. I do tell students, I'm not trying to scare you, but I do tell students that some of the standards that you believe um my class on Tuesday, it was a fully blown class. We had a lot of back and forth, and or not back and forth per se, but it was very engaging, my corporate reporting class. And I was making students understand something that, those days when in MG, okay, it's now CSME and it has even been scrapped. No, we did something under corporate governance where we call rules based and principle based. I don't know if you still remember corporate governance. Now we spoke about the rules based, that is either you comply or you face the penalty for non-compliance. Then we also spoke about the principle based, that principle based simply states that it's either you comply or you explain. So it's either, now, for example, if this class was said that, okay, the rule or the admin have said that David can only come to this class and he must present his slide no matter what happens. He must present his slide. Now, after leaving this class now, and I'm not presenting my slide due to my Microsoft Word or whatever is happening on my system, the admin would say, oh, you have defaulted, then you need to face the punishment. Okay, you're going to deduct so amount of money from your remuneration, or we are going to give you so punishment or whatever. Now, if it is principle based, now after I'm done with my class, they'll call me, oh, David, what happened? You didn't present, you didn't display your slide in your class. What happened? Is everything fine? Then I will not explain. This is what happened though. It's not my fault though. This about I ensured I followed everything I have prepared in my slide while delivering the lecture, and the student did not miss out on any important thing. And I still follow the necessary templates that I'm supposed to use in delivering the lecture. I say, oh, that's it. No problem. Please fix it. That is principle based. It is not rules based, right? I just quickly had to use that to explain it. Now, the US now, if you go to US gap, they make use of rules based, because for every transaction you want to do, there are specific rules that guide everything you want to do. I'm telling you, there are specific rules, but there are no specific rules to IPSA to IFRS, to both IPSAS and IESs and IFRSs. And I don't know if this is a good thing, because over the years I've had so much back and, in fact, I've even experienced a back and forth on X where two accountants were busy dragging themselves on just the interpretation, because these standards are just like laws and everyone will have their own interpretation, and they kept on going back and forth arguing. That one said, oh, this is his own interpretation of it, that the standard, this is what the standard said. I don't know if anybody witnessed that time on X. Shit, I think it was last year. Is there anyone that saw that particular thing that happened then between two professionals in the industry. I don't call their names. Okay, no one actually saw it. So they kept on arguing. The other one to quote that one that okay, oh, is this what you read? The other one to that went to quote directly from IFRS website, and I was just laughing that this is one of the cons of using principles based. Had it been that it was a rule based, everybody would know that oh, this is what the standard states, and any deferment from it would would actually attract the punishment. But IFRS would give you IFRS, the same IFRS will tell you, or IPSAS or IAS, they will tell you if you should ensure that you are consistent in the model that you are going to use for subsequent measurements. But if you think that you can change it, if you believe that it is going to give you more accurate and reliable um, presentation of your informations or your financials, right? You can change it, that model, or another standard requires you to change it. Now, if you someone can anybody can sit on the fact that it's going to lead to a more reliable. If as an accountant, I've seen that oh, this model, if I use it to, it can actually make my financials look favorable, and immediately I can just start using it in that year, right? And of course, I can say, oh, because of it made it more accurate, it made it more, all of these things are subjective. They are qualitative characteristics, reliable, and all of those things. So people can use it the way they want. And I think that's the major reason why we're having so much back and forth. Many of us that work in firm, many of us that make use of standard accounting standards on a daily basis, you must have experienced this one way or the other. For example, me as a person, I have witnessed this a lot. In fact, recently I led a team on the preparation of the PPE schedule of my office. In 2023, preparation of my PPE schedule in my office to be included in the financial statement. And there was a particular land. My office was the one that actually constructed that land in Lagos State around Abulegba side. My office were the one that awarded the thing to the contractor and all of those things. And when I was working on the PPE schedule, I had a team of very young accountants, qualified, non-qualified, those that are still writing the Ican, and some of them copper, some of them intern. Then I raised it. I said, what does the provision of IPSAS says? IPSAS, we are not making reference to IAS here. We are making reference to IPSAS. IPSAS, the equivalent of IPSAS IAS 16 is what? IPSAS what? But yeah, corporate reporters. I'm sorry. Public sector students. Let me just help us because of time. So the corresponding standard is IPSAS 17. So IPSAS 17 stated that, oh, this is when PPE recognition criteria. What's the recognition criteria? Cost can be reliably determined. And what? Oh yeah, now I expect this is a memory verse. This is a memory verse in standard. It's like John 3:16. For those of us that know that very well. It's like a memory verse every time. No one can forget it. Recognition criteria is almost the same for every standard self, except some standards that have um, different recognition criteria. Then, so the students they said, oh, can be reliably determined, and oh, it's probable that future economic benefits will flow controlled by the entity, and it's probable that future economic benefits will flow to the entity. And because of that, they say, oh, we can determine the cost reliably. And is it probable that future economic benefits will flow? They said yes, and everything. And they said, okay, we are going to capitalize this road. Quite huge sum of money, close to have half a billion. And I kept on working. When I went home, I kept on ruminating over it and looking at what can I do with this thing. My decision might be the final. My decision might be the final because it's still subjective. It's still subjected to other bosses and all. So what I did was I interpreted the standard in my own way because IFRS and IPSAS uses what's principle based. Is either I follow what the standard is saying or I explain. So where the standard is telling me that oh, I can determine the cost reliably and it's probable that future economic benefits will flow. Now, I was not okay with the interpretation there. If you tell me that future my office is the one capitalizing it under their books. Now, how will future economic benefits flow to my office? Is my office going to go back there and say they want to sell that land or they want to collect toll? I didn't mean that they even made a toll on that land and they are getting told for me, I can say, okay, good, future economic benefits can actually flow through that means. Now, that's even aside. Where is control coming from? Does my office have control over that particular road that they've constructed? Do they have the control? Why do you think IAS 38 said to not recognize internally generated goodwill? There's a reason why IAS 38 said to not recognize internally generated goodwill. It is the major reason why IAS 38 said to not recognize internally generated goodwill is because of control issues. If I recognize, oh, there's a Mrs. Endowment in my office now, and she's good, she's very brilliant, she's one of the most hardworking staffs. Now I say, oh, she's actually, and whenever customers come, whenever contractors come, or our clients come, they ask after, oh, where's that your smart staff and everything, and they are actually coming to the company because of many of them are saying, oh, I want to see them. They're coming to the company because of her. Don't you think she's an intangible asset to me? She's a goodwill. She's an asset. But why is IS38 telling me not to capitalize? It's because of they have an issue with control. I cannot control her. She can leave tomorrow. It's that simple. She can come to office the following day and say, oh, I don't know. I want to leave. Do you get? She can decide to leave tomorrow. I don't have control over. Even I don't have control over her life, her personal life. Right? So she's just an employee. So I don't have control. So if the standard can be that big on control, then I need to make use of that particular thing that the standard is doing in IAS 38. I have to employ it here in IAS 16 or IPSAS 17. So I quickly spoke to myself and I was thinking, okay, I spoke with a few of my friends and I just said, okay, I will not capitalize this, I will expense it. And when I did that, I explained everything to them. Okay, this is my reason for, that's why I like IFRS. I explained my reason. I did not comply. So I explained my reason why I did not capitalize it, even with the fact that the cost can be reliably determined. But with the rule of thumb, 50% should be the rule of thumb. Is it probable that future economic benefit will flow? Is there control? No. I expensed it, and trust my boss, she didn't question my work. She just said, okay, no problem. When external auditors came, then we had real issues. The external auditor that came, the FCA partner is the partner of that particular firm, a consultant to Lagos state government, someone that has met with the governor on several occasions, a consultant, someone that consult on different revenue, this and that. How do I there was one particular class I was actually communicating with. I went for a public speaking engagement, and I was talking about soft skills for finance people, finance professional. And I was talking about communication skills and emotional intelligence. Right, it's very important. Now the man came. I was sharing this with them that, see, at times you need communication skills. In this kind of case, my communication skills was one of the things that helped me, and the emotional intelligence was one of the things that really helped me. So my boss took me. When he came to our office, my boss just took me there. She wanted to leave because she trusted that, okay, I'll sort it out. But when she saw that it was quite dicey, the way the FCA was taking it, if the person could actually collect FCA raised per 2, people that have been qualified for 30 years, 25 years, how do you want to challenge them? And when you were quite sure of what you are doing. So I kept on listening. He was explaining, saying, okay, he brought out a pen, trying to do a lot of things and explanations and all. Okay, I said, good, sir. I actually commended his own method. I said, okay, I understand. Yeah, it's good. It's good to actually do this. He was even saying, no, that means that it's not, they are going to comment on so and Fairview. If I expense it, I'm going to write the financial statement by that particular huge amount, and it is material, and the government will not even know that, oh, they're having such a asset there in that particular area. And that was where I started. Immediately mentioned having an asset there. That thing just struck me that, oh, good. That is where I'll start from. Does this thing qualify to be an asset in the first place? So I started quoting IPSA 17, IPSA 16, and the provision standard. Trust me. Yeah, I'm telling you, at times when you're in the room, your technical skills will bring you into that room. But one thing that can actually sustain you at times in the room is how you communicate in non-ambiguous way. And he kept nodding his head. I think like the teacher and me came in, and I was taking him through it one after the other step, breaking down this same analogy I spoke about, IS 38. I had to bring it in. That IS 38 for this same reason. IS 38 decided not to recognize internally generated goodwill, that they cannot control it. Okay, trucks can pass on that road, they can spoil the road. Thugs can go on that road, burn tires, spoil the road, do all sort of things. How do we have control over this? I mean, so this my time is really going, but I can keep talking about many of this and some of the pros and cons of principle based, rules based. If it were to be a rules based, we will not even be arguing that argument. We would have sat and said, okay, this is what it's saying, and we go. But the standard gave room for, and I think it is one major pro of that particular of IPSAs and IESs and IFRS being principle based is the fact that it allows for dialogue, and that's what the IESB wanted. I think that was what the IESB wanted, and that's why you see whenever they are issuing standard, they do a lot of readings, they do exposure drafts, send it to various stakeholder groups, engage properly before they now pass it. So I think it's although it has its cons, but the pro, not bad. I don't know what's some people have had various debates, I've had various conversations in this regard. In fact, look at sustainability report as it were. We have S1 and S2 standard. There's an S1 standard that is like general. Then we have S2 standard that is looking at climate related, specific climate related or environmental related standard. So you see that some of these things at times you have debates, a lot of things back and forth and all right now. But now let's even draw it down to IPSAS. We are talking about IPSAS today, and many times I look at the examiner's comments and I'm always wowed. The reason why I'm always wowed is the examiner always say something. Go and check IPSAS Pathfinder. They always say performance of students in IPSAS is always low. Students in IPSAS is always low. I ask myself, is it that these students don't really understand IPSAS? Students that are passing IFRS, they are passing IES. And I can confide in you, I work with two. I can tell you the provisions of IES, the provision of IFRS are quite more complex than what is in IPSAS. Take, for example, you have IPSAS 2. What is IPSAS 2? What's the equivalent of IPSAS 2 in IES? Let me see. I will not tell you this one. Oh, yeah. What is IPSAS 2? Please use your chat box. Use your chat box. If you cannot unmute. Oh, yeah, our time is going. I have quite a lot of things to talk about in this class. What is in IPSAS 2? Skill student. Okay, IPSAS 2, the equivalent in IES. You are doing. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. Cash flow statement. For example, now if you look at the cash flow statement in IES, you see that it's a whole lot. Take, for example, you can even start with adjusting working capital. You start with operating cash flows. You first adjust all your operating cash flows. Meanwhile, I have worked with a whole lot of complex cash flow statements in my office and other parastatals or MBAs, and they don't really stress me as much as cash flow statement, because cash flow sector, just compare comparatives, understand where the cash comes from, your operating activities. I mean, they are into good selling of goods. Many of the MDAs are not into selling. They are not into whatever would have affected their cash, their revenue into is the account of MD, which is quite easy. So you cannot account for it. Your cash flow statement does not even into your cash flow statement. Go to your account and create a single treasury account. So definitely the ministry that we are paying for that is the ministry that is getting statement is the state treasury office. It's the one that gets that calculated directly, right? So you don't have to do so much. An investment, how many investment are you doing, right? How many, I mean, investment are you doing? How many financing activities are you into? Do you dividend, right? Do you get what I'm trying to use properties, plant and equipment? Although in property plant, bedroom they can actually class. So now the reason why I keep asking that, why then issues with IPSAS? That's lecturers and what we discover, many students, they understand IFRS, IES automatically. That was the first thing that I discovered. And many students think immediately they know IFRS or IES, they think they automatically know IPSAS. That is one of the things that's giving them a false understanding that they know IPSAS. Now, are they the same? No. Are they the same thing? No. The reason I said no is because you use terminologies in IFRS, EIS, and you change those terminologies when you use IPSAS. Example, depending on type of, might not because you have an idea the facts, right? He knows that you're not the nail on the head. You're not talking like a person in the public sector. For example, now in the public sector, I want to prepare consolidated income statement and other comprehensive income. I call it income statement and statement profit or loss and other comprehensive. That what is state of performance. Imagine the standard now requires you to talk about statement of profit. It's what's happening? It's breaking. What about like this? Okay, so please just let me know whichever way it's going. So we said okay, the thing is students should start reading. So let me just tell you what I did in my days. Although I was working in the public sector already then. So what I did then to pass my Ican exam, my IPSAS to study it was I just did one funny thing, right? I would not advise you to do it also. I picked the IPSAS like 2 weeks to the exam, and I finished all of the IPSAS in a day. And I was noting the differences in their equivalent IES, the differences in their equivalent IFRS, and those that did not have equivalent IFRS or equivalent IES. So take for example the IPSAS that dealt with revenue. There's IPSAS that dealt with revenue in two places. IPSAS revenue, there's one from exchange transaction and one from non-exchange transaction. Meanwhile, under IAS, you have revenue just one. And I saw someone talking about IAS 18 the other time, replacing IFRS 15. IFRS 15 replacing IAS 18. It's not only IAS 18 that IFRS 15 replaced though. IFRS 15 replaced both IAS 18 and IAS 11. See, you don't just know the gravity of that thing that it replaced. I used to say it in every class I enter that many students don't know what IASB did to them, replacing IAS 18 and IAS 11. Let me just give you a brief understanding of what is happening there. When I was writing my account then, we used to read IAS 18, IAS 11. Now, IAS 18 is talking about revenue. IAS 11 is talking about revenue from construction contracts. Now, you see IAS 18. IAS 18 is recognized, the basis for recognition of revenue was when risk and reward has been transferred. When risk and reward has been transferred. Now, companies started using this standard anyhow. Now, the major concept, every standard is linked back to a major concept of convention accounting. Now, the major concept that should have been that should be respected was what we call substance over form. Now, the reason why the real name of that standard is substance over legal form. The reason why we don't put that legal form is because we don't want the to come out. We don't want them to them. Now, substance over form please says that if this system is in my possession, right, and you are still holding the title of that system, my possession and income, you are still our legal brothers will say you're not you. But generating economic, won't I need to capitalize this thing? So that was where that IS 18 should have corrected that. It should have complied to the content of substance over legal form as a concept. But the reverse was the case. You see many organizations using it in such different manner. Some organizations can we all hear me? I don't know. I lost my voice. I don't know. Hope it's not breaking. As it happens, many organizations started doing more for you. Some people will do it. It's so funny. We make an arrangement and tell them, okay, see, give us this, we use this. Don't transfer the title to us. It's breaking now. Wow. Now, I don't know if it's okay like this. Now, please don't transfer the title to us. Don't be able to capitalize it, because hold on to the title means that not be able to recognize your revenue. Okay, I have sold something to you now. Hold on to the title. This reward has not passed. The reward is maybe you are generating cash. So you need to calculate value of value. Maybe you have done cost. Yes. So that could you don't test it. I don't know if I'm audible enough now. Oh God, you can't hear me. What is happening? Let me run a sound check. Please, if you can hear me, go to the chat box and give me one. If you can hear me. Someone is saying they can hear me. So it was really messy. And I'm telling you, the diet IFRS 15 came on board. Wow, we were so happy. And IFRS 15 just made it very easy for us. Oh, apply these 5-step models and you are good to go. Even a service company can use IFRS 15. So back now to IPSAS. Please, IPSAS, as a matter of fact, I think this is what we'll also be looking at next week, right? This is what we are going to be looking at next week, as a matter of fact. So I don't want us to think we are going to be looking at IPSAS over I think 3 classes. I'm trying to check the scheme of work. Okay, yeah, so it's going to, and we are going to today we are supposed to talk about IPSAS 25, right? We are supposed to talk about IPSAS 25. We are also supposed to talk about let me see. There are some particular standards that we do not joke with when it comes to. We are supposed to talk about IPSAS 14 also, right? So we are meant to, in this class, I'm meant to talk about IPSAS 25 and IPSAS 14. So IPSAS 25, you might want to jot something down. Is the IPSAS that applies to employee benefits. What's the equivalent of employee benefits? You might not know it because it's not testable at the skills level. IPSAS, the equivalent of the IPSAS 25 is not testable at the skills level, so I don't think you will know it. But anyone wants to try? So IPSAS 25, the equivalent for IFRS or IAS is IAS 19, employee benefit. It's not testable at the skills level, it's testable at the professional level. So that's employee benefit. Right now, when you're looking at, I just want to do something as regards employee benefit, also the as 14. So IPSAS 25, please, we are of this because there are some particular standards that we notice that Ican used to test. And before we close anything IPSAS we'll be looking at, I think we are still looking at IPSAS next week. Before we close anything IPSAS, please, I will give us those standards, those frequently tested standards under IPSAS. Even if you are not going to read anything under IPSAS, please just read those frequently tested IPSAS that we noticed that we lecturer came up with. Like, okay, study it. I'm telling you, you can finish it in a day. Just summarize it. Many of these standards, they just want you to know the provisions. And you already have the idea of IFRS. You already have the idea of IPSAS, right? And trust me, it has been properly explained in the video lectures. Please reach out to the admin. It's very important. If you have not gotten your video lecture, this class is not a standalone class. What I mean it's not a standalone class is that it's a class that you automatically understand. We are dwelling on what you have watched in the video, what we are building on. So please, I get this very good. And they are MTN is doing me really poor tonight. I don't know what's happening. Someone said I'm breaking. I'm breaking. Michael Jackson. Okay. Is it better now? So let me give us time to respond to that. I don't know if it is better now. So for okay, good. For some of us that are actually asking where you can actually see this particular okay, thank you, Mrs. Blessing. For some of us that are asking where you can actually see, yes, I will do that. Don't worry, I will do that. I will not type it here, but I will give it to us. There are some standards that you should not joke with when it comes to IPSAS. Right? So if you want in your video lectures, check chapter 8 to 35 of your lectures, and you will get everything there. Chapter 8 to 35. Right. So so we are going to, like I said, the lecturer did something for his students because we understand PSAV is quite voluminous, and most times it's not practically possible to actually cover all those areas, word for word, pages for pages. So we decided to do something that there are some certain standards that we believe there are not much differences, right, between the IAS and their corresponding IPSAS, right, or situations where the IAS isn't even as technical as the IPSAS, right? So like I explained something the other time that a good example is IAS 7 and IPSAS 2 cash flow statement. So furthermore, we're actually able to determine some standards that are usually tested the most, like I said. But what we did was we concluded that giving students these areas would actually mean some of them wouldn't even study other standards again, right? Like I see someone already asking, so which could actually be a detriment to their success, right? Let's say, for example, now if those areas that we are giving you, we are not examiners, I cannot decide not to test it, right? So of course you might want to put that liability on us. I don't that told you that this is what they test the most. So we now resorted in what we said we would advise students to study all the standards very well, but pay some good attention to those particular standards, right? So I'm going to give us those standards. Please, I'm advising us that when you are considering IPSAS, do it like you don't have an idea of IFRS. Don't treat it like you are coming across those particular IPSAS for the first time, because they are quite different, especially in some terminologies and applications. They are quite different. So as it is now, we have 27 IPSAS. We have 27 IPSAS. I don't want to, time will not make me run us through. We have IPSAS 1, presentation of financial statements, IPSAS 2, cash flow statements, IPSAS 3, accounting policies, changes in accounting estimate and errors. Of course, that's the equivalent. The equivalent of that is IAS what? IAS 8, isn't it? So we have IPSAS 4, effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. The equivalent IAS is IAS 21, isn't it? So you have IPSAS 5, borrowing cost, equivalent IAS is IAS 21. Borrowing costs. I'm actually mixing it up. the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates, that's IS 21, yes. The foreign cost is IS 23. I'm not mistaken. I don't cram the names. I just like to understand the provision of the standard. I've never sat down and say I want to cram names, crammed. You don't, no one, nobody will see. You are writing FR now, right? SBR, I mean, in my SBR class, I was telling them that, see, many of us that I lecture IFRS diploma. I'm telling you, I lecture IFRS diploma for a while before I stopped. And if you see a proper IFRS diploma question, they will not give you where the standard that you are going to make use of. They will give you long case study. So. They will not tell you to use the relevant standard or the appropriate standard. So if you are someone that likes to note the name or the this thing, you have just wasted it. You need to understand the provisions. So we have IPSAS 4, the effect of changes in foreign exchange rate. Equivalent IES is IES 21. IPSAS 5, borrowing cost. Equivalent IES is IES 23. Yeah, I don't know if I got that correctly. IPSAS 6, consolidated and separate financial statement. Please don't forget that we used to have separate financial statements, IES 27. We used to use it then. But there's a particular standard that has replaced that separate financial statement, which is IFRS 1 and IFRS 3 and IFRS 10, right? So that's business combination and, consolidated financial statement. So we also have investments in associates, equivalent. I don't think there's any IFRS that replaced the IES. That's IES 28, isn't it? So we have interest in joint ventures. That's IFRS 11. We have IPSAS 9. IPSAS 8 is interest in joint ventures. We have IPSAS 9 also, revenue from exchange. Like I told you the other revenue that can exchange something exchange action. Now to the sorry. The child has nothing to do. For the mother to say the child does not have to do anything. The mother will breastfeed. Once the mother knows that it is her responsibility to breastfeed the child, that is it is not exchange. There's no exchange going on. The mother knows, oh, I need to breastfeed this child. I need to breastfeed this child. There's a friend of mine that likes to use this analogy on relationship, especially in this part of the world, that when it comes to relationship in this part of the world, the ladies believe is a non-exchange one. So you should not be, okay, you give me this today, tomorrow I give you. They believe in non-exchange. I used to laugh whenever I uses the analogy. So let me now bring it down to the public sector. Whenever let's say, for example, so government wants their MDA. So, for example, if government pays okay, this is your I think this particular money to run your case for this month. That is a revenue from what we are following. That's a revenue from what? Okay, revenue from well, as far as revenue, which is nine or 3 from exchange from yeah if that's financial reporting in hyperinflationary economies, equivalents IES. We have IPSAS, I think IPSAS 11 construction contract. They are still keeping IPSAS 11 here, even though it has been scrapped there. So we have IPSAS 12, Inventories, we have IPSAS 13. Leases, inventory is IAS 2. Leases is IFRS 16. We have events after reporting dates. That's IPSAS 14. The equivalent is IAS 10. We also have financial instruments. That's IPSAS 15. Disclosure and presentation. Just one standard is treating, but in IAS, we have IFRS 9. We have IFRS 7. Used to be IAS 39 and IAS 37 before. Sorry, IAS 39 and IAS 33. So, but now, sorry, IAS 32 and IAS 39 before. We have IPSAS 16, investment property. Equivalent is what? IAS 41, isn't it? So we have IPSAS 17, property, plant, and equipment. I'm just trying to run us through all of the IPSAS. IPSAS 17, maybe, but you can't in the you everything. Reporting the IAS it is the one that is it identifies provisions, contingent liability, and contingent asset. Equivalent accounting standard for it is what? 7. Oh, what can I do? What can I do? It wasn't like this when we started the class. It wasn't like this at all. So we have IPSAS. Please confirm that you can hear me. I just want to run us through it quickly so I can round off. Have I spoken about IPSAS 19, IPSAS 20, IPSAS? Okay, good. Related parts, that's IA. IPSAS 21, impairment. We call them CGU, right? Non-cash generating assets. It was treated under impairment, IAS 36. Breaking. What can I do? But some people are saying they can hear me. Some people are saying it's breaking. So we have disclosure of financial information about general government sector. Does not have equivalent IAS. That's IPSAS 22. Then we have IPSAS 23. We have IPSAS 23. It's not stable, sure. Revenue from non-exchange transaction. So what we mean by non-exchange transactions, like I was trying to explain, what I was trying to explain is simply revenue from taxes and transfers. But those ones from exchange transactions, maybe the government agency or the government parastatal is into a particular area of operations that they generate revenue. Maybe they sell, they buy and sell, and all of those things. So that's revenue from exchange transactions. We also have IPSAS 24, talking about presentation of budget information in the financial statement. Does not have equivalent IAS. The one I was going to talk about today, IPSAS 25, that's employee benefits, right? That's the equivalent is IAS. This is endowment.
Endowment mute.
I've done that to her. Thank you, sir. So IPSAS 27, which is the last. So they have 27. Tell me if you can cover all of these 27 standards in a day. So please don't throw away your standards, IPSAS standards. So IPSAS 27, that's agriculture. Agriculture is IAS 41. Yes, so now these are all the standards. And please note that each of these standards have been properly explained in our video lectures from chapter 8 to 35. So you can check it there and you see it right there. So today I'm supposed to talk about some of the standards. Meanwhile, I don't know, but Let me quickly give us, before I go, let me quickly give us those standards that from our observations we have noticed that they test a lot. Please, I, I don't know if I'm breaking now. Tell me, because this is important. I'm not telling you to go and study only this. So we are just saying from our observation, this is what we notice that Ican have been testing. These are areas that they've been testing so much from, right? And I want to beg you not to joke with the first three. Don't joke with the first three. So we have IPSAS 1, IPSAS 2, IPSAS 3, IPSAS 5. There are 10 of them or so. IPSAS 9, IPSAS 17. Are we together? IPSAS 21, IPSAS 26, IPSAS 24, IPSAS 25, and IPSAS 27. I don't know if you got that. Please do not joke with the first thing. Notwithstanding, please do forget about the syllabus. It's very important. Do your best to cover. Anybody, I don't know if there's anyone that can really help run uh, run these things down that we have actually spoken about. So, I wish I could spend more time here, but you know, I don't think we'll be doing IPSAS next week. I don't think we'll be doing IPSAS. That's why I quickly had to give up. I was looking at the syllabus, voluminous, and we need to cover a lot of things. So please, all those IPSAS I've dated down, please get your video lectures, reach out to the admin. Anything you don't understand, type it on the chat box. This call is meant to be like a clarity call. I like when I come to class and I discuss questions. We talk about technical areas that are giving you gray areas that are giving you a day. Because by that regards, I think I also learn. And me, I'm someone that like to learn every day. When I go to class, that's the major reason why I'm teaching. When I go to class, I want to learn from students. I want to know new things every day. That's the major reason why I'm actually lecturing. It's not about the fund or money or anything involved. I've been doing this for more than 6 years now, and I know the reason why I'm doing this, right? So please focus on what we have spoken about, and you are good to go. All right. If there's any question, please let me know so that I can give you the room. I'll share it on the platform. Let me try and drop it now.
Please, just recap.
I'll share it on the platform.
Just quick one.
My time is not my. I have to join another class quickly. I have another class that I need to join quickly. I should join that class by 8:20 max. Okay, someone has helped with that. I'm so sorry about that. Someone has helped with that. Don't joke with the first three. I'm begging you. Don't joke with the first three. There's a reason why I'm saying that. Okay, next week we'll be looking at very important also looking at government accounting, budgetary control, and government contract accounting. These are the three topics I'll be looking at next week. This is to class. I want to have conversation. I want us to have talks. But I find people that's it. Next week is the local government account control oops, network issue. I'm so tired. Local government accounting, budgetary control, and government contracts. Local government accounting, budgeting and budgetary control, and government contract accounting. Local government budgeting and budgetary control, and government contract account. So it can be found in chapter 36, 37, and 37 of the video lectures. So we are good to go. Then before I go, please, I'm actually soliciting for um votes. I I take pride, or I bless God in the fact that network is really frustrating. I believe you can all hear me now. I don't know. I just want to share the link. Coming just a moment so that you can vote for me, please. Just a moment. I don't know why it's not loading. I'm trying to copy the link and share. So the network is quite frustrating tonight. Oh goodness. So slow. Ah, God, they're already calling me for my other class, so I should have left. I see calls. I need to join a class right now. My goodness. What is happening? Class is going to hold all through the night. Okay. So I just shared it on link. You can see it and click it. Pathfinder Education Champion, David Trebar, please. Thank you. Do have a great night. Bye. I've shared it. network has not made it display, but I've actually shared it to the platform. So you can just click the link and or David forgot. I should have dropped it on the Telegram platform. So I'll do that. I'll drop it on Telegram platform too. But for those of us that are still here, you can actually see them. Do have a great evening. See you next week and bye. Thank you so much.